All right, let's dive right in. Today, we are taking a close look at a single platform that has really shaken up how software gets made, secured, and shipped. We are, of course, talking about GitLab. But before we get into the nuts and bolts of GitLab, let's start with a question. A question I'm pretty sure anyone on a software team has asked themselves at some point. Why? Why does this have to be so complicated? You have this great idea, and getting it into the hands of your users feels like navigating this giant, tangled maze. Well, a huge part of that complexity comes down to something we call the software tool sprawl. Just imagine you're trying to build a house, right? But for every single task, sawing, hammering, painting, you have to use a totally different toolbox that you bought from a different store. It's just chaotic. And that is the reality for so many development teams out there. So let's look at that classic setup. Your team probably uses something like Jira for planning. Your code lives over in GitHub. Jenkins is running all your builds and tests. You've got SonarQube doing security scans. The list just goes on and on. Now, each of these tools is fantastic at what it does, but trying to stitch them all together, that creates what folks call a tool chain tax. It's this hidden cost you're always paying in time, in money, and just so many integration headaches. And this is exactly the problem that GitLab was designed to solve. Instead of that messy, chaotic toolbox, it offers a single, unified platform. The best way to think about it is like a Swiss Army knife for building software. It's one tool with one interface handling the entire lifecycle. Now, real quick, to really get GitLab, you first have to understand Git. Git is the technology at the foundation of all of this. It's the version control system that tracks every single change to the code. It's powerful, it's essential, it's basically the engine. So, okay, if Git is the engine, then GitLab is the entire car built around it. It's the complete platform that takes all the power of Git and then adds everything else you need on top. We're talking project management, security scanning, deployment pipelines, the whole vehicle that actually gets your software from point A to point B. And this thing didn't just pop up overnight. It actually started way back in 2011 as a pretty simple open source project. But the vision for it grew really fast, and today it's this massive platform for what we call DevSecOps, and it's being used by over 100,000 organizations all over the world. So, theory is great, but to really see how it all fits together, let's actually follow the journey of a single feature, or in this case, we'll use a bug fix, from the moment it's just an idea all the way into production. And we're going to do it all inside of one application, GitLab. So here are the key stages we're going to walk through. Everything kicks off with a plan, which in GitLab is an issue. Then, a developer creates the code. After that, GitLab automatically verifies and secures it. And finally, it gets deployed. Let's break that down. Our journey starts right here, in the issue tracker. A user finds a bug and reports it. Now, this issue isn't just some ticket in a queue. It becomes the central hub, the single source of truth for every single conversation and every bit of work related to fixing this bug. Okay, next up, a developer writes the code to fix that bug, and they open something called a merge request, or an MR. This is really the heart of collaboration in GitLab. It's where the rest of the team can review the code, they can discuss it, and it's also where a whole bunch of automated checks start to run. And here's where that integration magic really happens. With a super simple comment, something like fixes #24, the developer instantly links their code directly back to that original bug report. This gives you perfect traceability. And what's cool is, when that code gets approved, the original issue can be set to close automatically. It's seamless. So, what about all those automated checks I mentioned? How do they work? Well, it's all powered by GitLab's built-in CI/CD. That stands for Continuous Integration and Continuous Deployment. And honestly, the setup is surprisingly simple. The developers just define the entire process, how to build the app, how to test it, in a single text file that lives right there in their project with their code. But verifying code isn't just about checking if it works. It's also about making sure it's secure. And this is where GitLab's whole philosophy of DevSecOps really comes into play. The idea is to build security right into the development process, not just bolt it on at the end as an afterthought. So as part of that automated pipeline we were just talking about, GitLab can run a whole suite of security scans. It'll scan the source code itself for common flaws, it'll test the application while it's running, it checks all your third-party libraries for known problems, and it even looks for things like API keys or passwords that might have been committed by accident. Now this is the crucial part. The results from all those security scans, they don't get sent to some separate security team a month from now. No way. They pop up directly inside that merge request, right in front of the developer who wrote the code. This is huge because it means they can fix vulnerabilities right then and there before that code ever gets merged into the main project. You know, this all-in-one approach is really the core difference when you compare GitLab to its main competitor, GitHub. Now, GitHub is an absolutely fantastic platform for hosting code and for collaboration. But to get that full DevOps lifecycle, you often need to add on things like GitHub Actions or bring in other third-party tools. GitLab's whole bet is that having it all built in from the start is the better way. And if you break it down like this, you can really see that difference in philosophy. GitLab is shooting for the full lifecycle, with things like CI/CD and security scanning deeply integrated. Another big point is hosting. GitLab has a really strong self-hosted option, which lets big companies have total control over their own setup. And for many of them, that's a massive deal. So where is this all heading? Well, GitLab is really betting the farm on this idea that the most efficient way to build software is with a single source of truth, one platform where every single team, from planning all the way to operations, can work together without any friction. And that platform is just constantly getting better, and it's driven by the incredible power of open source. We're talking over 3,000 contributors from the community. That means innovation happens at a blistering pace. That kind of transparency and collaboration is really baked into GitLab's DNA. Ultimately, it all comes back to this one powerful idea. Git is the bedrock. It's the essential foundation that everything is built on, but GitLab is the intelligent infrastructure that's built on top of it, turning all that raw power into a fully functioning factory for building and delivering software. Which really just leaves us with one final question to think about. In a world that's only getting more and more complex, is this big shift towards a single all-in-one platform the inevitable future for how we create, how we secure, and how we deliver the software that runs pretty much everything? Thanks for watching.